Mabuhay, this is Bob from Love Beyond the Sea. Want to live longer? Get married. That's what we'll talk about here today on Love Beyond the Sea. This is a channel designed to help people get married, especially consider somebody from another country. It doesn't have to be the Philippines like I did, but it could be. But that's just the start of the rest of your life. And so I try to talk about all the things you'll need to know to stay with her. I'm still learning myself, but I am going to share it here and try to go in depth. And so this is just one of those reminders, as if we needed it to get married. This article is from New York Post, February of 2023. Brooke Steinberg, getting married can lead to a longer life for men. And this is a new study from the American College of Cardiology that found a happy marriage can lead to a longer and healthier life. They probably both go hand in hand. No pun intended. Marriage really can lead to happily ever after. A new study from the American College of Cardiology and talks about leading to a longer and healthier life. Researchers at the University of Colorado found that men who were married had more than twice as likely to die from heart failure within 5 years of diagnosis compared to married men or women of any marital status. Never married, more than twice as likely to die from heart disease, heart failure within 5 years of diagnosis. The experts used data from the multi-ethnic study of atherosclerosis, an existing study of 6,800 American adults between 45 and 84 years old. Researchers compared marital status and survival rates from the time of heart failure diagnosis from the 94 participants with heart failure at year 10 year 10 of the study. They also adjusted for other known risk factors such as age and mood status, they say. Lifelong bachelors were about 2.2 times more likely to die than married men. But men who were, I've heard this before, it's interesting, men who were widowed, divorced, or separated did not have an increased risk compared to married men. What do you think about that? Always, please leave comments here on these topics. As for women, marital status was not significant in the prediction of death rates. I suppose you could say that men need marriage more than women. I wouldn't have a real problem with that, personally. Now, reasoning behind the correlation between a man's marital status and likeliness to die of heart failure needs further study, researchers have said, but possible factors could include social interaction or isolation, access to someone who can monitor health, or differences in health behaviors such as diet, exercise, or alcohol intake. Very true. There's a relationship between a person's relationship status and their clinical prognosis with heart failure, and it's important to figure out why that is. Katerina Leba, MD, a resident physician at the University of Colorado and the study's lead author, said, as our population is getting older and living longer, it's imperative to determine how to best support the population through the aging process. And that might not be as easy as just taking a pill. We need to take a personalized and holistic approach to supporting patients, especially with a chronic disease process like heart failure. And this is when the heart fails to produce enough blood and oxygen to other organs of the body, according to Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. And that chronic condition affects about 6.2 million adults just in the United States. And they mentioned in 2018 about 380,000 death certificates with that condition listed. There is currently no cure for heart failure, but there are ways to reduce symptoms and help those affected live longer, such as medication, dietary modifications, and regular physical activity. Researchers suggest discussing their home life and relationship status with clinicians to determine how it might affect their progress with heart failure. As clinicians, we need to think about our patients, not just in terms of their medical risk factors, but also the context of their life. Liba said, and that's the end of this article. Now I want to just say a few things about, getting married can lead men to a longer life. I mean, for one thing, you have more responsibility. You really shouldn't, do dumb things and take chances with your life. You have to, you have to be responsible, and you have to be a provider to your wife. You have to be interested in another person's needs and well-being and the companionship. We're made for companionship of all kinds, but we are made for one main companionship, most of us, and that is marriage. And as a Christian, I get that from the Bible. It's not good that the man should be alone. Make him a helper suitable for him. And this isn't just talking about Adam, it's talking about all men in general from that point on, because he made the man, then he made a woman right away, and then he put them together without their consent to show that is what is the norm. Get married, and then have children, start a family, and so on, and that repeats itself with the way you have trained them and brought them up. And when you have those kind of responsibilities, I mean, one, you have purpose. And with that purpose comes responsibility. And if you do those responsibilities and you feel like you're fulfilling your purpose, well, I would think that you would be healthier mentally, emotionally, physically. You'd live longer. So here on Love Beyond the Sea, I married a Filipina in 2015. Now that seems like 8 days ago, but it was almost 8 years ago. And I thought I'd never get married. But I did. On day 54 of a relationship with my wife, started online. I went to the Philippines, almost 10,000 miles away. We got married, and she came here 8 months later. Excuse me, and we're still married, still trying to start a family, believe it or not. And it's been the best thing for me. Has it been without stress? No, of course not. Has it been without some drama and confusion, miscommunication? No, of course not. Marrying a Filipina isn't going to get rid of any of those things, but it can help you live longer if you do it right, and you are, you sacrifice for that woman, and you're kind to her, and you put her needs and desires above your own. It doesn't mean that you lose your life and abandon it. When you do these things, you're more likely to discover the life that you've always wanted, the meaningful life, which for most of us is being married. So marriage can help lead to a longer life, and I would say a better life. To learn more about that, please subscribe, comment, and watch here on Love Beyond the Sea.